Okay, here's an early video of printing the receiver plate, or the top plate as I sometimes call it, which will house the magnets. There's the print there, took up virtually the whole area of my print plate. It wasn't the prettiest print. I didn't have enough stirrups or legs to hold it up, so things got a bit wonky, but I did manage to save it and use it, because it used nearly a whole litre of resin, so it wasn't a cheap print. So I'm going to be breaking all the little legs off that you don't need. They're just all the supports. I needed to have more supports. Something to learn from. That's the thing with resin printers. I do like it. It's very smooth. It's got a good finish. But of what I've found with my one, whether it's just the way I've set it up or not, it's not. Sometimes the holes are not the dimensions you've made them. They're a little bit smaller, whether it's due to the resin falling in them. And I have to sort of sometimes clean them out a little bit with a drill. But apart from that, it's pretty good. And I can pick different resins, and this one's a hard resin, so this one solidifies pretty hard once you've put it in the UV light. A bit of prep though, you've got to pull it off the plate, which can be a bit of a pain because sometimes it likes to stick on the plate quite nicely. I don't know if there's a trick. I'm sure there is a trick to make it not stick as much, but then if it doesn't stick, it falls off the plate and then there goes your print. So it's a catch-22. You can pick different resins, from softer resins to harder ones and more flexible resins. There's a whole range of them, and I've picked the hard ones because I know I need ones that will be a bit stronger and have a bit better wear capability and not bend as much. The plate, I don't want it to deflect. So I made the receiver plate quite thick actually. So any impact from the wheels, the magnets in the wheels being transferred into the plate will be pretty direct, and there won't be hopefully any deflection in the plate and loss of energy. Though, never know, maybe it does need to deflect a little bit and needs to vibrate a little bit more and have a bit more give. I might need to trial different things. But as you might have seen in early videos, the corner of this plate did get sheared off from the wheel that exploded beneath it. So I will need to print new style type of plate. This one's not adjustable. It's adjustable in the vertical position, up and down, so you can adjust the height of the plate, but you can't adjust where I've placed the magnets in the holes. The holes are permanently in a fixed position, so the 4 magnets in the corners can't be adjusted inwards or outwards, which contributed to the catastrophic failure of the wheel becoming out of balance and disintegrating. So my next model of the receiver plate will have an adjuster, so I can adjust the magnets inwards and outwards and line them up a lot more accurately over the wheel. And as I said in a previous video, I'm going to have 2 magnets angled downwards, so it keeps the wheel centralized. When it's spinning, it doesn't start to wobble and go into some harmonic imbalance and explode again. I'm just showing this video because it gives you a bit of an idea how long it takes to create these pieces. The print itself was, oh gosh, I can't remember how many hours. It took a long time because it actually had to traverse nearly the entire length of the capability of this printer, which I'm lucky I've got this printer, because if I had any others, and I do have another printer, it's a filament one, it's so small I couldn't make anything this size. I'd have to make everything a lot smaller, which means the motors would be smaller and less powerful. Oh, there you go. Finally got it off. Nice. So you can see there it's a bit wonky in the print there, but I did manage to save that, believe it or not. And it did slide up and down okay in the main body once I cleaned all that up. So yeah, that's the plate size. You can see it's quite a good size. I would like something a little bit bigger next time. I had to print that print sideways because it wouldn't have fitted on the plate, as you can see, in a vertical position where the legs or the feet are pointing upwards. So I managed to do it sideways, which contributed to the saggingness and the print not being as good as I'd like it. I was just trying to work out how I could do it with the size I had and what I had. Anyway, it did work out. Got to clean it all up and put it back into the printer. Waste a little bit of resin there, but not a great deal. That's a good thing about these resin printers. There's not a great deal of wastage of the resin, as once you've used it, you can pour it back in the bottle and store it in the bottle for a little while, or just keep printing until you've run out, then order some more. But that receiver plate now needs to be washed in alcohol, or isopropyl alcohol. So got to order a bit of that every now and then, because it does get pretty murky and full of resin and doesn't clean as well once it gets a bit contaminated. As you can see, that resin's already got a little bit of contamination, but it's not too bad. So normally I can put prints in that container there and put them on another device next to the printer, which rotates a little impeller in the bottom and washes the parts for you. And you can put it on a timer of 10, 5, 20 minutes, whatever you want, to wash the part thoroughly. And then that device next to the printer also has UV lights, so you can harden it afterwards as well. Now, because of the size of this print, and the washer I've got isn't designed for this printer, I needed to buy the next size up, which I didn't know existed at the time when I purchased it. But anyway, so I'm just washing it by hand in the tub. It does the same job, gets rid of all the residue resin. If you don't do that, and when you go to harden it, then it's not the size you wanted. It's got daggy bits on it, and even dribble marks. If you've got a bit of a dribble of resin on there and then you harden it, you can actually see that when you take it out. And then you've got to sand it off to smooth it off. But anyway, bit of alcohol here. Give it a good wash. And then got to get some UV light onto it. Now, if it doesn't fit inside the device that creates a UV light, you can always leave it outside on a nice sunny day. Let the UV light harden it that way. Just going to make sure it's not too cloudy, I suppose, or raining, because you want it to harden before getting any water on it, so it doesn't blotch it or sort of create some marks on it before it has a chance to harden. I've got a piece of daggy bit there that I wanted to get off, but wouldn't come off, so I thought I'll just sand it later after it's hardened. Yeah, that's a good thing. Once this is hardened, sandpaper really cleans things up nicely. Get some really fine sandpaper just to smooth it off and make it look nice and shiny again, or a bit of rough sandpaper to get off those daggy bits. Yep. And then I like to give it a good wash and then dry it off. Yeah. Comes out, the black is quite nice. Getting the black resin is sometimes hard. It seems to be popular and hard to purchase. It's always out of stock, so I had to just purchase another litre the other day. So I got grey because I couldn't get my black. So you'll see in some of the future parts they'll be grey. Still the same UV tough resin, or it's tough resin 2.0 I've been ordering. That's the latest version of the tough resin. They've changed the name on it. So I've set up the printer to take that resin too. You have to make adjustments to the printer, the timings of the light, and how long each layer is created, or how much light for how many seconds you need to have it to make each layer. So there you go, finished washing it, pretty happy with that. You got to make sure the holes, any little holes in there, you've got to make sure the resin's been washed out of it, because if you don't wash a resin out of the little holes, then when you go to harden it, it hardens with the resin in there. Then you've got to get a file or drill, or you've got to do something to get that resin back out of the holes. So the best way is to make sure there's no resin in them and wash it really well with good brushes. Giving the container a bit of a clean. It collects a fair bit of the resin in there after you've washed a part in there. Got to give that a clean every now and then. You can filter the alcohol and get rid of all the big chunky bits, but it still usually has a colouring in it. I just ordered another 5 litres of it recently, so I've got some fresh stuff to use. I'll keep the old stuff in the bottles there. I can use that for doing a really quick clean initially, and then use some cleaner stuff to give it a better clean, or I'll find something to use that alcohol for. Cleaning parts is another thing. You've got to clean bits quite well. And the vat where you pour the epoxy resin, if you finish with the resin and you pour it back into the bottles that they come in, you've got to really make sure you've cleaned that vat quite well and got rid of any resin, because once I left some resin in there for weeks, thinking I was going to get it back onto doing a project, and I'd forgotten all about it and hadn't gone in my lab here for a while. And when I came in, it semi-hardened in the vat there, and had to get it out, and the plastic bottom of the vat, which allows light to penetrate through, the hardening light, or the UV light to make your layers with, I had to replace that, which is good because you can buy replacement plastic and change those on the vats. Yep. There I am, pouring it back in. I'll reuse it again. I've filtered that a few times already previously, so yeah. Anyway, so yeah, bit of a process. And gloves are handy. Need gloves. Oh, the stuff stinks on your hands, and it's probably not great for you, and it's hard to get it off your hands too. So I try to use gloves whenever I can, even when touching the parts. Not until it's been hardened can you then sort of play with it and use it and not get the smell on your hands from the resin. So you got to wait till that process is all done, the hardening, and then then the gloves are not so important. Yeah, there's my piece. I'm happy with that. Yeah, but that's I won't be printing another one of those again. I'll be doing it very different. I haven't got the design in my head exactly yet. Once I get on the computer and start doing my 3D drawings, I think I'll have it in my head. It usually comes out to me once I start getting on the 3D software and start drawing and moving parts around. Anyway, thought I'd show you the print and all the hoo-ha about it and all the movement or all the cleaning, I should say, and some of the issues involved with it. But yeah, so this is it. I'll stop it here. All right, thank you for watching.